So bad news for Switch players. I'm very sorry about this, but yes, a lot of you were waiting for the port of Batman Arkham Trilogy. So Arkham Asylum, City, and Knight, I recall. The
Yes.
three games were supposed to come out as one package on the Switch on October 13th ish. So this is like mid October. Unfortunately, it's been delayed by a month and a half. Now it's coming out in December 1st. So that's that bad. Even though there were not too much details, we can guess why there's an issue, right? Arkham Asylum is a 2009 game. No problem to port it on the Switch. City, I think it was a 2012 or 2013 game, something like this. And it's already way more open and there's more component to the game. So it's harder to port it. There's more element, but it's still okay. It's still feasible for the post Switch capabilities. However, in 2015, Arkham Knight very famously destroyed PC. If you didn't have the top line PC, it would cyberpunk you. It crashed a lot of PC. And that was a 2015 game on a PC. And the Switch is quite famous. It's a 2017 hardware, which already in 2017 was quite weak, of course, compared to an Xbox or PlayStation, simply because it's not meant to run 4K HD games like this. It's supposed to be running Mario and friendly, cute little games. It's apparently much more complicated for the studio doing this, third-party studio, of course, it's not Nintendo itself, but doing the portage, to make it playable. And that's the whole thing, right? Because if you buy the trilogy, you want to play the trilogy, and the whole Batmobile in the city, going over in the city, is quite hard, apparently, to fit into this post-Switch. It's really coughing her lunch right now. Basically, what's going to happen is that you're going to have your game late, but you're going to have it. And the Switch 2 is dearly needed at this time right now because the Switch is on hold hardware now. She's a very venerable grandma, and we're waiting for the next stage, for next evolution.
Yeah, I played all the Arkham games, and Arkham Knight was the first one I got to try at 4K. And I remember doing it at 4K, and it maxed out my GPU RAM because at that point, I think even now, I only have 8 gigabytes on my GPU card. It required 8 gigabytes to do 4K for Arkham Knight all those years ago. But it ran amazingly at 4K. It was a beautiful game, and it was a fun game as well, because who doesn't like running around with a $1 billion tank, shooting stuff and doing Batman stuff?
I am vengeance.
Yes. Oh, it was cool. And my favorite part of the game was like Batman touches his watch and like an in-game scene of where the Bat car blows through a building and lands and skids, and then you jump into the car and you drive off, and it was so fun. But to the main issue, if you're a gamer, you would have seen gaming news, you would have seen Switch and Mortal Kombat 1, how much fun people made off it, right? Because it looks so bad. And that's also not entirely the Switch's fault, right? Even when the Switch came out all those years ago, you have to remember is that it came out those years ago, but the actual hardware would have come out even earlier than that, because they'd have to research the hardware, they'd have to build it, they'd have to test it, they'd have to send it out to developers. And before it's actually got on the production line, right? So the actual NVIDIA Tegra chip inside the Switch was out probably 2015, 2016, probably 2015, actually. So by this point, the Switch actual physical, the thing that does all the work, is 8 years old, more than 8 years old, right? Yeah, no, it's if they get it to run, it's not going to look great. And people just stop complaining. It's age-old hardware. Developers are not magicians, right? They're not going to make Batman Arkham Knight look as good as it did on the PC on the Switch 1. It's just not possible. I would say it's a very low possibility of that happening. Look at Mortal Kombat. But the first two games were still really fun to give a go at. Even if this game doesn't run well, there's still lots of cool like DC comic stories and characters. And it's not going to look great, but if you like the story, yeah, and you got a Switch, you should definitely give it a go.
Yeah, and I know that it was port already on the Wii U at the time. Asylum, definitely. I can't remember if City was done. It was very nice because with the Wii U, you had this giant pad/tablet and you could do all the detective work onto it, which you don't have on the Switch. But it really added a flavor. I don't know what kind of flavors the Switch can add to it apart from just you're a Nintendo player, you don't have anything else. here you have the luck to play it, so don't ask too much, basically. Asylum and City will run well. Knight, let's hope it does. And I'm sure they're taking a month and a half to make sure it does. But yes, like you said, it's not going to be as optimized and as beautiful as a computer or a console with a much stronger hardware.